This morning, I woke up with a very familiar feeling, one that's overcome me many times in the last 10 years. That feeling of, what am I doing with my life? Am I doing any of this right? Am I headed in a good direction? Where is this all taking me? And the thought that always follows whenever I get like this is, I think it's time to make a change. I think it's time to start over. Starting over isn't new for me. I've done this quite a few times, but it's been years since I've had a chance to talk any of this through with you. Years of keeping these thoughts to myself instead of doing what I used to do, sharing them here on this channel. And here's what I've learned. When you're stuck in that loop of, what am I doing with my life? The only way out is straight through it. And it's really good to share it. So imagine this, okay? Just hear me out for a second. Imagine taking that mess, whatever it is, a thought, a phase, a full-on meltdown, and finding equal parts courage, a bit of maybe this could help someone else energy, and then a dash of fuck it, we're all gonna die anyway, and then hitting record. And imagine actually sharing that online with the world. I know it's really scary to think, but here's what happens when you actually do it.
All right, so you know what we're all looking for? Someone who gets it. Someone who understands even the slightest about what we're going through. Someone else to say, hey, you're not the only person that's going through this because I've also been there.
You post that video where you admit you feel lost or you have no idea what you're doing. And suddenly your DMs are full of people saying, this is exactly how I feel. And you just realize, well, shit. We're all just trying to figure it out every single day. No matter how old we get, no matter how many times we've started over, we're all just figuring it out as we go. And once you realize that there's so many of us out there in this exact same position, everything just becomes a little bit easier.
What's crazy and like kind of scary these days is you can literally find a community right here in your back pocket at all times. It's always with you. We're never truly alone anymore. You will find shared experiences everywhere. Just whip this out and scroll through social media. We are all out here sharing, oversharing. So if you're ever out here feeling like, what the fuck am I actually doing? Where the am I in life? Like, why don't I feel good about anything? I encourage you to share it in your exact way, not in a perfectly scripted written way, just the way you're feeling about it in your own natural, raw sense.
That's what I started doing 10 years ago here with you, and it truly changed everything for me. So this is me taking my own advice. This is me starting over.
If you're new here, hi, I'm Haley. This channel says 600,000 subscribers, but I feel like a lot of the community that I've built over the last 10 years were people who followed me for a version that I wouldn't say doesn't exist anymore, but I've really changed and evolved a lot since starting this channel. And so that's what I mean by starting over. It's kind of just like starting a new era of my channel. So if you're new here, this might be a good place to start. Maybe you can go back and watch all of my old videos and see what my content used to be like. Not saying that I wouldn't cover the same topics or categories that I have been over the past 10 years, but we're gonna usher in some new content, some new styles maybe, and do a lot of experimenting. When I started this channel, I was 26 years old, working in tech. I was making YouTube videos while I was living at home because I didn't make enough of a salary to actually live in San Francisco at the time where I was working. Then I started this YouTube channel, and within months, I had opportunities come to me that I never even knew existed. I didn't even know were possible. And over the course of the next 6 or 7 years, I ended up traveling to over 70 different countries. I worked with huge brands like Google, Netflix, Sony, GoPro, a ton of tourism boards, travel brands. I even won a Shorty Award for Best in Travel. I was living my dream career. But the problem was, no one told me how to sustain that lifestyle. And if you've been here since then, here's something that maybe you didn't know about my life as a full-time travel YouTuber. I was on the road for 300 days a year. I feel like many times I lost myself in constant sensory overload. Every moment was filmed. Everything that I was going through, everything I experienced was content. And while it was no doubt the best times of my life, some of the best times of my life, it was also extremely disorienting. And then in 2022, I just kind of stopped uploading. Like, not dramatically, I didn't even announce anything about it, but I started building a solo consulting practice, which then expanded into a full-on content agency. And here's the thing, like, I told myself I was being strategic about it, which I was, but really I was burnt out and I didn't know how to shift my content from there and like come back to my channel as, I don't know, kind of a different person. And so really the long story short is this, and I think I'll get into it more in upcoming videos. I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't feel good about the direction I was going in. I was exhausted all the time. Oh gosh, I hate to say this, but like I was becoming miserable. And on top of that, it just was fully not a sustainable lifestyle that I was living. Now, I will say it was the ultimate sense of freedom, but let me give you like a snippet of what the freedom that I built for myself actually cost. I became the friend that was just gone all the time. Like I missed so many important moments, like big moments in the lives of the friends and family, in the lives of people that I love. And I would say that a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships ended. And even the friends who did understand why I wasn't ever there, understanding doesn't make it hurt any less when you're seeing your friends and your family go through their lives through Instagram and you're not there. I also became the daughter that was calling from different time zones or was just not calling at all. I became the girlfriend that asked, can you meet me on the other side of the world in 3 months? And not the person that was just like, want to come over and hang out? I mean, oh my God. When it comes to dating, try explaining that you don't have a home. Try explaining that you are going to be gone for months and months at a time and you won't be able to see that person for like 3 months. Dating just basically becomes impossible. And just to kind of let you know, I'm fully glossing over a lot of the other sacrifices that I made because now it's just all in the past. But I need you to know one thing from me. For me, that was all worth it. Every missed wedding, every ended friendship, every impossible relationship, like I wouldn't change any of it. But it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean it wasn't easy. I think half the people looking at me were like amazed that I was living this lifestyle because it was a dream. And the other half was probably thinking I was running from something, which I wasn't running from something, but I was chasing something. That high of being in a new place, that constant rushness of new experiences, new events, sensory overload. And I'm still chasing it. I am pretty addicted to it. And so when I think about this channel in seasons, season 1 was the daily vlog era. It was messy. I was figuring it out. I was fully unscripted. Nothing was planned. Season 2 was like high production travel guides, trying to be professional, trying to level up my gear and level up my editing skills. And season 3 was challenges and remote work experiments. I feel like each season I was using this channel to just explore my curiosities. And each time I evolved, I lost views. I lost subscribers because, you know, those people wanted the old thing. But then I gained people who were also growing with me into the different phases. And so now that brings us into season 4. Season 4, phase 4. What is phase 4? I have no idea. But I feel like that's kind of the point of starting over, is to just start and be messy and just go with it and figure it out. And so for years, YouTube was kind of just in the back of my mind. It was like a weight in the back of my mind. Like I was thinking like, am I really going to just abandon this channel that I spent so much of my time building and my energy on and all of my effort? And you know, building this channel like fully changed the trajectory of my career and my life. Am I really gonna abandon that? And like, honestly, I kind of kept setting these benchmarks, these like excuses, I would say. Like I would tell myself, I need the perfect plan. I need the perfect video. I need the perfect setup. I need a nice office. I need to buy a house. I need to get my content agency in a place where I can actually spend time to sit down and plan YouTube videos. Well, guess what? I did all of that. And here I am. You know what? I'm 35. I've started over so many times, from law to tech to YouTube to consulting business to agency owner. Every single change, every single pivot I made was so messy, and none of them had the perfect plan. It was really just about what's the next step. Feeling like I outgrew something, now what's the next thing that I need to do? When I look back on how this all started, my YouTube channel, the whole content creation thing, it wasn't the travel videos, it wasn't the brand deals, it wasn't making a whole plan about anything. It was just me pressing record, literally turning the camera on, pressing record, and just speaking to the camera fully unscripted, raw, just being open and honest about whatever was happening in my life. It was the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of those videos I've unlisted now, so a lot of the drama that was happening, you can no longer go back and rewatch it, and neither can I. And we don't want to do that anyway. I didn't have any answers back then. I do think I've gained some wisdom since, but back then I was just being open and honest and scared and raw. And what I've learned is that when you share your struggles, and not the polished version, but the I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing version, you give other people permission to feel that way. I feel like I've been really leaning into this lately with my friends, my family, and even some content on Instagram. Just being open and honest and scared about uncertainty, about starting over so many times in my life and being a beginner again. And really just being scared about the things that I'm getting myself into, but trying it anyway and figuring it out. And from all these experiences that I've had being a content creator, I have fully seen and believed that vulnerability and like having the willingness to show up just messy, that raw, scary, behind the scenes kind of content makes us feel less alone in this whole process. So here's what this channel is now. It's just me figuring it out in public again. It's gonna be about sharing what building a business looks like, what building a team looks like, what managing looks like, what still traveling, taking on travel projects looks like. Everything that I've been doing in my life in terms of my work and the business and the travel. There's a lot more to that, but all of that plus me just trying to still live my life and not have this YouTube content creation, work, business, career, like all of that. Make sure that that's not all consuming in my life, because my life is not just making content or like building my business. It's really me continuing to choose uncertainty over stability at 35. So if you've been here since the beginning, welcome back to the new phase, the new era. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. Maybe like Haley takes on the world 3.0. I'm kind of different now, and you probably are too. And if you're new here, you are kind of joining at a weird time. But honestly, it's kind of always been weird here. And if you're thinking about starting something new, maybe it's a social media channel, maybe it's ending your job and completely changing up and starting something new. Maybe it's something else in your life. This is your sign. You can start something new. You can start fully, completely over, and you can do it with me. So here's my commitment to myself, to my channel. I'm gonna start uploading every week, not because I have it figured out, but because I'm just tired of waiting until I do. I don't necessarily know exactly where this channel is heading. I think the next few videos are just gonna be me kind of like yapping about whatever is top of mind. I wanna tell you about why I quit YouTube to start a business and how that business is going, and basically what I did, starting a consulting business and then expanding into a content agency, because I feel like there's a lot of mystery behind that and I haven't fully ever really talked about that much. I think I just want to like also talk about all the mistakes that I've made as a content creator in the last 10 years, because oh my God, I have so much to share about that. So maybe you wouldn't have to make the same mistakes that I have. Maybe I'll even talk about the mistakes I've made as a business owner. Oh, that would be it's so hard to share, you know, it's hard to share all the mistakes that you've made. And I do have a lot of travel coming up. I'm definitely going to bring back travel vlogs. I want to bring back just like vlogs with my family and my brother, and I do feel like vlogs are so much more of a sustainable kind of YouTube video than just having like a full-on production with like a challenge that I'm setting, you know, and people I have to interview and making sure every scene is perfect and all the, you know, the music and the production, all that stuff. Like that sounds so daunting to even think about. We're going to start small. We're going to start simple, a little bit pulled back. We're going to be a little bit messy. Things might be all over the place, but we're going to figure it out. So if any of these topics still interest you at all, stick around. And if you ever have any questions on anything that I talk about, any of the pieces of content that I make, whether it's on Instagram or here, just send me a message on Instagram. I am in my DMs all day talking to people. You know, it's a lot of similar conversations of just people feeling stuck and trying to figure out what that next move is. And I feel like we are all here together in this same position most of the time. I think it's just great to have people in your community also going through the same shit. that I'm going through. We're all just trying to figure this out on the day-to-day, as I always am. So thank you for being here. Comment down below if you've been here since 2016. That'd be crazy. And I will see you next week. Peace.